with the opportunity for a Hollywood finish will take the 250.
Phoenix, there they go, down to the bottom, 4 or 5 wide. Let's see if they can all keep it together. But Jacob Jarnagin.
Remember last year when they ran the Weenie 500, they streamed it on YouTube, on their YouTube channel? They're bringing it to TV this year.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another night in the Bottom Split Racing Series. This is your host, John Miles, speaking. And today, we have a beautiful day in Kansas City, Kansas, for this week's race here in the Heartland, Round 6, Kansas Speedway. 43 laps for you all, with that stage break coming at lap 18. Should be a great race for everyone to enjoy. Mile and a half. Arguably the best mile and a half that we see on the Bottom Split Wednesday Night Dash or Tuesday schedule. As we overlook the Hollywood Casino right there, you can see there's 50 seconds left before we hit over to qualifying. But before that, we're going to do a quick reminder of that rule change. As I mentioned earlier, just several notes to read out, the rule changes. There was a big rule change added, as I mentioned, with that stage break coming at lap 18, so make sure to keep an eye on that. There will be an extra bonus point rewarded for that stage point, but still the other stage extra points are still included, such as fastest lap, most laps led, and leading a lap. So keep an eye on the bonus points as things start to shift around a little bit. As we take a quick look at the driver standings after just 1 week of racing, Jacob ARCA currently leads with 42 points after winning last week's race. Connor Fuge in second place, JP Jones third, Aiden O'Neill 4th, Jax Mellon 5th, John Corey 6th, DJ Flux 7th, Preston Brown 8th, Garrett Jarnagin, last season's champion, in 9th, and Scott Rolls rounding out your top 10 with the rest of the drivers there listed. Should be a great race for everyone to witness tonight, as it should hopefully produce some multi-groove racing. If the draft has anything to say about it, we'll have to see if anyone can build a run and then send it into turns 3 or turns 1 after building up that momentum. Qualifying is underway right now. Let's take a look at the 91 of Aiden O'Neill. It's going to start the field with his qualifying lap. We're going to go ahead and throw up that vertical ticker so you guys can take a look and see where these drivers line up as they start to qualify. In the meantime, we'll take a closer look at Kansas Speedway, located in Kansas City, Kansas. Opened in 2001. It is your typical intermediate coming in at a mile and a half. Some pretty normal amounts of banking, very cookie cutter type intermediate track, as we're used to seeing for a lot of the scheduled races for the mile and a half tracks. So expect your decent amount of banking in the turns with some banking on the front and back stretch. But make no mistake, once this track really widens out, you can have some multi-group racing. So we look forward to seeing that. The 20-minute practice has wrapped up. You can see the 2-lap qualification is underway. Some important notes to make from the last time we were at Kansas Speedway in the inaugural season. The last winner was Lane Snow on June 23rd, 2025, which was the first ever Bottom Split Racing Series race of the entire Bottom Split Racing Series. The pole for that race was JP Jones, but the winner of that race, Lane Snow, led all 40 laps. So keep an eye on how good can you get that qualifying start towards the front, and can you maximize that restart. Drivers will have a little bit more extra time to make sure they get that restart as good as possible, just with the added addition of that stage break. Should make for some interesting calls. Will we see 4-tire stops throughout the field? Is someone going to risk it and try a 2-tire stop with only about 16, 18 laps before that stage break? Will anybody take the risk and just get 2 right good years? As we take a quick look at the rest of the Bottom Split Racing Series schedule, as practice continues to, or as qualifying continues to wrap up. Just finished Auto Club, as I mentioned, 2 weeks ago, with Jacob ARCA winning. Here we are at Kansas before heading to the road course. We'll head to Portland International Raceway, then heading to Nashville, then Bristol, followed by Pocono, Daytona, and then the Homestead Miami finale. Should make for some pretty good racing, but arguably the best racing on this entire week. It happens on Wednesday, so if we take a quick look at the Wednesday night dash schedule. Coming out in here in a couple weeks, August 12th, hitting to Michigan International Speedway, followed by Bristol, Kentucky, Darlington, going to Portland to follow the ARCA cars. And then a lot of races you can see that follow that one, with Homestead Miami also being the finale for the O'Reilly Series. So a lot of interesting tracks that line up for that schedule, including Homestead, Darlington, Talladega, of course, is always a mess, so we'll have to see how well these drivers can do with this tougher than normal schedule. And finally, we'll take a quick look at the Indy Racing World Series schedule. There you can see it's pulled up right there. So far, so good. We had a lot of fun last week on Tuesday. If you missed it, make sure to catch the replay on YouTube or wherever you stream any of your races. Heading back to as well tomorrow, so make sure to tune back in here to catch the next edition of the Indy Racing World Series. We now have about a minute left in qualifying. As drivers start to end things completely, we'll see. Looks like right now the 91 of Aiden O'Neill is going to be starting on pole, with Jack Smith on the 45 starting second. Joined with us tonight in the Bottom Split Racing Series broadcast booth is the number 4 driver of Dawson Buchanan. Dawson Buchanan being last season's champion and a valued member of the JM Motorsports team as well. Dawson, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great, John. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here broadcasting some Bottom Split Racing Series racing tonight.
Now, you've done plenty of your own racing here at Kansas Speedway, albeit not in an ARCA car, but definitely on four tires and some fenders. So tell me, what's the key to tonight to getting it done?
I think the key tonight is going to be saving some tires. You know, that's a huge part of this game in general. So especially, you know, those guys up front, to keep the tires on them and make those things last. That's going to be probably the biggest thing. And staying out of trouble. You always got to stay out of trouble.
Staying out of trouble is the way to do it. As it looks like Aiden O'Neill is not available to talk for an interview right now. He might be in the middle of doing something. So what we'll go ahead and do, and just leave it as it is for the grid, we'll go ahead and see if we can't grab Jacob ARCA for this interview and see if you have any questions for him after last week's race and what he can do to continue his momentum.
Hey, Jacob, this is Dawson. You got me?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Well, starting P9 tonight, Jacob. What's it going to take to get you up here up front and compete for a win tonight?
A lot of hard work, some tire saving. It's just going to take a combination of things to have the right formula to get up there. These things are it's really hard to pass here in these things. It's very similar to the next gen and the truck, aero sensitivity wise, how if you're holding the inside lane, you can just realistically, you can aero block the entire time. So it's just going to take a lot of hard work to get up there. Hopefully clean race. And I've got my buddy Connor Fuge starting outside with me. We worked really well last week. So hopefully we can get something going here early and get up there and contend for the stage win and hopefully a podium overall and start the season 2 for 2.
Awesome. Well, good luck, Jacob, and have fun.
Sounds good. Thank you, brother.
That was Jacob Barker in the number 2 machine, starting P9. We'll have to see what they can do to make their way back to the field. Will we see any strategy calls out of the Smoky Mountain guys to try to leapfrog some cars, especially when it comes to pit road stops?
I think strategies that could come into play tonight. You know, I think track position is going to be big tonight. So, you know, hopefully have some these guys that qualified in the back can play some cards and get up front.
Let's take a quick look at the Wednesday Night Dash field, or the Bottom Split Racing Series field, starting in P1, Aiden O'Neill. Starting P2 is the car of the 45 of Jax Malin. P3, Scott Rolls. P4, Robert Lewis. P5, Garrett Jarnagin. That wraps up your top 5 for the starting position of this race, as the pace car lights are off. Let's see what these guys, how aggressive will they be? Will they burn these sets of tires up? Will we see some crazy strategy calls? We're going to see an absolute dominant performance out of one of these drivers. As the Ford Mustang rolls on the pit road, Aiden O'Neill has entered the Geico restart zone, and green flag is out. We're racing to Kansas.
Great jump to the outside line there, holding even on the restart.
45 is right there still on his door. Is he going to have enough momentum to stay on that quarter panel?
He's right there. He held it.
It's the beauty of Kansas. It's one of those tracks that you really can make multiple groups work, especially if you can pinch off the exit of that inside car. We'll have to see how big of a role that plays overtime, because you'd have to imagine that it is burning a little bit more tire than Aiden O'Neill on the bottom. It's a big wiggle there at the 45. He has to check up a little bit.
Big push coming though.
It's allowed the 91 to pull a little bit of a gap now to 2/10. And the 45 has clearly made his way to the second place position as they fan out 3 wide a little bit farther back. Fastest lap that time by the 13 of Eric Richardson, currently holding that bonus point.
Pretty orderly so far here, Miles. Pretty orderly.
Pretty orderly indeed. There's still some fanning out a little bit farther back. Some 3 wide action still going on a little bit farther back in the field. I believe that is the 19 of Connor Fuge back there, as Robert Lewis in the 01 has just hit the fastest lap. We're knowing the winner of Garrett Jarnagin currently. Biggest battle right now is a lot of them going on in front of them. Dawson, as you notice, the 45 there gets a little bit tight, especially on the exit of the corner. Talk to us a little bit about the effects that dirty air has to play, especially on these ARCA cars.
Yeah, the ARCA cars are some of the most sensitive aero cars on this on iRacing. So, you know, when you go into a corner and you're, you know, in the same corner as somebody but running the same line as them, it's just a big aero effect on your car. It makes you really tight and have to get out of the gas. So as you saw from the 45 there, lost I believe 2 positions there, just getting tight and air tight. So definitely something that you have to be mindful of up front.
You were around for whenever we did a little bit. Ooh, is there contact there between the 53 and the 19, the 2, and they're still 3 wide right now. We'll see if they can get this sorted out. More contact there between the 53 and the 19. Have to see how much discipline is with these Bottom Split Racing Series drivers. 53 gets it sorted out. Now he's on the outside of the 32. Back towards the front of the pack. The 4 and the 01 are breathing down the neck of the 91. You have to wonder how hard the 91 pushes. He hits the wall right there. A little bit of wall contact has allowed the 01 to have the preferred line going into 3. You have a moment too.
He checks the feeling. Capitalize off of that too. Got underneath. Scott Rolls up here.
Got underneath Scott Rolls and was able to complete the pass before the exit of the corner. Talk to us a little bit too about tire save. We know Kansas, it's important to tire save, but with this 20-lap run, how hard are you pushing? Because we have that stage break in the middle, and you were one of the veterans that were around back when Lindsay Night Dash had a stage break. How does it affect the strategy or the mindset of the drivers?
Yeah, so this is one of those where I don't think that you're running enough laps to really wear the tires off of it. So it's more of a controlled aggression type of thing in this first run here. Just run hard enough to not lose positions, but not hard enough to, you know, blow your tires off of it. So it's definitely still want to keep them on there though, and not go absolutely just pedal to the metal.
It's a 53.
You see Aiden.
53 took a big slide there, farther back in the field. As Dawson just mentioned it, Aiden O'Neill falling farther and farther back. He's now slotted his way back into the 4th position, about to lose that position to J.P. Jones in the 21.
JP Jones. Looked like to me there's a lot of loose race cars out there, Miles.
Makes for some good racing, especially at this type of track. Looser is better. Ooh, as a 91
All over
smokes the
the
wall.
wall.
Car on the wall.
3
This is
wide.
3 wide now. He continues to
Still 3
lead
in the wall.
spots. I'm sure the
that's
91 is praying for that stage break right now, but unfortunately he's got to hold on for 7 more laps before he's going to get bailed out.
Miles, you run some races in these ARCA cars, so talk a little bit about how damage sensitive these things are. You know, you can get in the wall and get big time damage and slow the car down.
100%. The ARCA car themselves, it's with how aero sensitive they are, as you talked about a little bit earlier in the show, with how aero sensitive they are, just a little bit of right front contact, even if it says 0x, just a dent in the wrong place can really just dump that air on the right front of your car, and just, especially if you're making consistent contact with that wall on the outside, it just really just acts as a parachute. It makes your car tighter, and then it just makes all the driving conditions worse as it just builds on builds and builds between tire wear, aero damage, aero sensitivity. As the 19 takes a slide through the grass. He keeps it going forward right now as he's trying to
Great
find
save there, but
great
gonna lose a
save, but
spot.
unfortunately he's going to lose a lot of spots as he took the Kansas City road course. He should be able to stay on the lead lap here, as the owner Robert Lewis really hasn't pulled away too far from the 45 with Jackson Allen, consistently about 3/10. As there's more smoke a little bit farther back, we'll have to see if that was previous smoke. I believe it was just previous smoke, just trying to disappear.
Now I've been watching this gap here from 2nd to 1st, and Jack's just closing in about 3/10 of the lap here, so that's something to keep an eye out for.
Take a look a little bit farther back. The 32 car of Garrett Jarnagin, our inaugural season champion, is continuing to work on the 14 car. We'll have to see if he's saving any tires or trying to get a read for what his car has. Just when we're talking about the 45's momentum, the 4 has started to reel him in. Have to see, is the 45 saving it all? As he gets a little loose there, you can see it's going to allow the 4 to have a little bit of run down the backstretch.
JP Jones really loose in the back here. Did all but hang on to that thing.
Cause a giant checkup in the process. The 53 of Preston Brown does go around him. The 14 is caught up just a little bit because of that as well. towards the front. The 01 of Robert Lewis has pulled away now by 0.5 of a second. But as you can see, right up in front of him is the lap car. I don't think he'll get there, as we have the stage caution coming the next time by. Should secure the 01, the stage point. And pit stops coming up here shortly.
It was a good first stint from Jacob Barker there. We talked to him a little bit earlier about what it was going to take to get up to the front, and I'd say he made a pretty good headway there.
It's a great point there in the number 2 car, making a lot of headway all the way up to the 4th position. Now we're going to take a look and see if any drivers make a strategy call. Dawson has 2 tires, even an option for a race like this.
From the looks of it, these things look real loose, and 2 tires will only make you looser. So if it was me, I'm saying put 4 on them, but you know, they may know something that I don't. So we'll see what happens.
It is bottom split racing series, and we've definitely seen crazier. Although loose is a condition, these guys are not used to fighting in these cars. Is someone going to take the gamble and try to get some more track position?
You know, if you're back half of the field, it might not be a bad idea. You know, you take 2 tires, get track position, and see if you can't hold them off.
As we take a look at pit road, as all these drivers start to come down. Can't imagine anyone would be brave enough to not pit at all.
Oh, contact on pit road. The 45 and the 01 there.
Have to see if that caused anybody to speed here. Fast repairs are enabled, so once these guys do get clear and into their pit box, the damage will be restored if there was any heavy contact between on pit road or throughout the first stint of the race.
Before car slipped, there's a box there. You had to back up.
Let's take a look at pit road exit. We'll see who wants to come off pit road first.
The 01's going to get it.
The 01 has got it, with 2 making a jump as well. Slot him into the 2nd place position. Great pit stop out of the number 2 machine.
It's really good execution getting in the box there from Jacob Barker.
As
I
cars
actually
start
believe.
to pass him.
Yep, I believe.
That's just one car. Maybe he just lost the spot to the 45 unless we see more cars start to pass him here.
I think Jax Malin may have came out in front of him there.
Jax was able to hold on to the restart and stay side by side with the lead lap car for the initial start of the race, but now the 01 of Braden Lewis, has a teammate behind them. You have to imagine a friendly teammate push is on the horizon to start this race.
It's going to get exciting, Miles. About to start the 2nd stage here. I believe this is a longer run, correct, than the first stage. So
it is a little bit of a longer run.
More heat in the tires, more slippery. Guys going for every inch, every centimeter of track out there. They'll be pushing for it. So it should be fun.
Now, do you believe we'll see anything other than the bottom lane being dominant? Is the track rubbered up enough for that even 2nd groove to be viable, or are we gonna, like I say, continue to see dominance on the bottom?
I think you may see that 2nd lane work in a little bit, or like a lane and a half up, but I'm not sure we'll see the wall or anything up there, work. But all right, pace car's away.
Pace car does pull away. The Ford Mustang is off and away as Robert Lewis gets the shove in the 01 to get them going.
Great jump from the 45 again.
They're going to be side by side entering the corner. Wide arc from both these drivers. We'll see how much momentum they can carry.
if you're one of these front guys, you know, side by side, you want to pinch this guy down on the inside here, cut his exit off here. It's
Huge shove from the
main
32
thing.
and the 2 car. Both cars get shoved. The 32
Oh,
in the wall. 45 goes to that third groove. I just don't know if there's enough momentum to clear down quite yet.
I think he's clear.
It's clear. Ooh, slide jump right in front of him. Huge slider out of the 45 as the 01 gives him contact back. Probably didn't appreciate that aggressive move as the 01's now to the back to the inside of the 45. 45's clear for now. He's going to get a push from the 2. Talk about air manipulation a little bit too as you see the 45 start to drift down just a little bit in front of the 01. How big of an effect can that have on these ARCA cars?
Oh, this is huge. You know, anytime you get a chance to lead a race like this, you know you got to put your car in front of whoever's behind you. So I bet you right now Jax Malin is looking more out that rearview mirror up there at the top of his screen than out the windshield.
It's important to note, just to feed the cheating allegations, that 45 car might have a different number, but it is the same car as the number 5 that showed up here on the inaugural season. Same car, same engine underneath the hood. These are still some great battles right now. A little bit farther back in the field as the 53 of Preston Brown and John Corey continue to go at it. 3 for now is clear up to 4. It's right on the 14's back bumper. Still the battle for the lead. It's continuing to work over as the 2 is now picking the 01.
That 4 car was pretty strong there in the first stage and then flipped through the block. Hopefully we can see him make some moves here to get back up front. I believe he's got the speed to do it, so something to keep an eye on.
Apron utilization is something that normally is a big topic of conversation, especially when we go to tracks like Phoenix. Talk to us a little bit about tracks here at Kansas where some drivers choose to go down on the apron, other drivers don't. How does it affect your car both on the long run, short run, and the balance overall?
One thing that I've noticed about, you know, cutting the apron like right here on the front stretch is, you know, as soon as you cross that bump, the thing's going to get a little sideways. The apron's always a little flatter, so you're leaning more on the right rear of the car, so you're going to burn a little more right rear. It's one of those things where, like here, unless I was making a pass, I probably wouldn't do it. Just as these things look to be really loose, I'd want to save that right rear as much as I could possibly do.
Do you believe right now it's more of a case of monkey see, monkey do as all the drivers continue to try to use it?
I believe so, yep. It's at this point, I think, if the guy in front of you is doing it, you're probably going to do it too. There's a run from the 01 here, looks to the inside. He's there, he's inside. Oh, there's a wreck in the back.
Looks like the 13 of Eric Richardson. We'll see if we can get a replay of that. Looks like he was side by side with the 01. Let's see if we can find it.
They are side by side for the lead right now. 01 cuts the apron. Clears him. 45 slots in, P2.
We're missing good racing right now, so we're going to have to go back to the lead as we can't find that replay in time. It looks like it was between the 13, the 91, and the 4 car. They're all significantly off the pace.
Now, Miles, as a long run car yourself, you know, if you're the 45 in this situation, you know, what are you trying to push it? Are you trying to get that lead back, or are you satisfied running there and saving a little tire?
I think the 01 did a great job of doing what he had to do to get the lead. I like his strategy quite a bit of almost force a mistake. You know you're faster on the long run. See if you can't just continue to beat on their back bumper. Keep applying pressure and just drive your race. Almost drive like there's nobody in the front of you. Just drive your line, drive how you normally do it, and just see if the driver in front of you makes a mistake and worry about aggression on this 5 to go.
Big 10-4 on the aggression. 5 to go.
Have to see though, the 01 was able to pull a little bit of a lead the last time. What to see is Jax Malin, the 45, continues to lead positions.
If you're Jax Malin, you really do not want to give up any more spots than you have to here. It's just going to be harder and harder to get them back.
Especially
as the 32's got to run. Is there room to make it 3 wide here?
opts to push the 2 of a teammate instead. 45 being stuck on that outside groove, unfortunately, just the track is just not rubberized enough to really make that line work. There's a little bit of wall contact there. The 2 goes low to avoid it. The 45 does end up clearing him in the process.
The 45 heard you say that, and he said, "Watch, hold my beer."
Regardless, the 01 is loving everything he's seen in his rearview mirror as these cars continue to battle. You'd have to imagine that it's just burning the tires up. Although we did make a case for the monkey see, monkey do of following the car to the bottom of the racetrack, you have to wonder, is the draft of the car in front of you outweigh the con of having that right rear tire go down? So 45 makes a huge launch to the inside. Able to carry some of the momentum.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about the 45 is he doesn't look like he's pushing that hard, so maybe there's, he's got something up his sleeve here for these next, 9 laps, 10 laps.
You have to wonder if he really likes that middle groove, that second groove, or it's more just getting clean air on the nose of that Chevrolet. Which one is more important in that sense? Following the guy into the corner and running the optimal line, or getting clean air on the nose?
Me right now, I want clean air. Clean air, clean air, clean air. 2's in the wall there, little brush, just a little kiss. The 01's kind of missing the bottom there. That allows Jax to run the optimal line there on the bottom and really, save that extra little bit of tire and gain a little ground.
Connor Fuge is the last one on this group of cars. But even the car in 7th place, that being the 19 of Connor Fuge, is still less than a second back from, now a second back from the lead car. So all these cars staying relatively close to each other. The rest of the field's broken up there after some damage to the rest of the field right now as the 88 and the 87 are battling it out.
Dare I say some of the best racing on this game, Miles?
Dare I say. Welcome to it as the 32 goes a little high here. Did he miss the corner as he ran the high line? We'll have to see as the 14 continues to carry a little bit of a run here. These cars are abusing that apron. As the 01's now kind of just maintaining that 2/10 of a lead. The 45 does pull on him on the backstretch and the front stretch using that draft, but as soon as that dirty air hits the front of the nose into the corner, it just upsets the feel of that car. I can imagine probably making a little tight on entry and just killing the momentum.
Props to the 01 because he made the pass and he's holding them off, so he's fast tonight, Miles. He's fast.
The 2 gets a huge shove there from the 32 going in the corner, which will help him clear the 14. The 14 drives it in super deep into the corner. Gets it to stick, but has to check up on exit. It allows the 32 to wrap around the high side and get around him. Now the 32's going to have a little bit of a run into the corner on the 2 car. Like you mentioned with the 01, he is starting to pull away once again, now stretching it to 0.5 of a second.
Looks like that the 45 car has he's burning the tires off this thing, Miles. He's burning the tires. Oh, in the wall, 45. I believe it's gonna be it for his night there.
Huge wreck there. Trying to catch a replay to see what happened. Looks like just aero wash from the 2. It doesn't look like there's any contact. The 45 just gets a little loose, and then it looks like he overcorrects just a little bit. And that just causes it to shoot up. You have to wonder if there was any netcode, because that looked really aggressive.
Very sudden jolt there out of the 45 car.
Oh, it looks like he just got a little loose and then overcorrected. Unfortunate after how fast he was running throughout the entire night. That has moved Jacob Barker up to the 2nd place position.
3 laps to go here.
As Braden Lewis begins to check out here. Now he's far enough ahead where the 2 of Jacob Archer doesn't even quite have the draft to even pull up to him if he wanted to. It's going to take a mistake out of the 01. The 2 and the 14 have a chance to continue to battle.
This is Robert Lewis's race to lose here.
The 2 and the 14.
What an awesome drive for Robert Lewis. Yeah, this is a great battle here for P2. Big time side draft down the back stretch. Can he clear? He is clear. Oh, but Barker dives down to the bottom. Boy, they're getting racy.
Bunch of crossovers here for these 4 cars fighting for the second position. We have the final lap here. It's getting super racy. Unfortunately for Braden Lewis, I hate to break it to you, Cowboy, but we are not going to watch the finish of you cross the start-finish line, as the battle right now is for the second place position as the 14 does clear. Is Jacob Barker going to give up third? It looks like he will.
It's a big side draft to the line.
Brown steals it. Preston Brown at the line. The 53 car steals it. Is there a little side
What a wreck. What a race.
What an absolute finish out of those guys fighting for that second place position.
Robert Lewis kept them in their rearview mirror there for 40 laps, and in his last 3 laps, he really just put it on them.
An unfortunate night for the 45 car, and a lot of cars are involved in wrecks, but the 45 does come home finishing 10th position as the 01 starts to burn it down.
Some antics going on back here after this checkered.
Got a fight on pit road.
That one car spinning out coming to pit road, looked like the 2 of Jacob Barker and Preston Brown maybe.
I'm sure there might have been some upset people about how the finish of that race went. There might have been a little bit more contact that we might have missed whenever we were watching other battles. Could we see a feud in the rivalry brewing just the second race in the season as the 01 blows his engine? As we take a look at the results pulled up there, you can see the top 10 listed there as we start to grab some drivers for their interviews. Stay tuned. All right, Dawson, it's muted right now, but you're going to get third. You're going to get third place. I'm going to get second. Then you're going to get the first interview with Robert, then I'll get the second interview with him. Got it?
Got it.
All right, let's see if we can start grabbing these guys and bring them into the booth for you all to hear from our top 3. And we now have our top 3 in the broadcast booth. We'll kick it off for the first question for our third place driver, Preston Brown. Dawson, you got him?
Yep. Hey, Preston. So, one question for you tonight. First off, P3, congratulations. It was a heck of a run there in those last few laps.
Thank you.
You know, what did it take there on those last, I guess, 3 or 4 laps to come out P3 or the podium?
So, pretty much working with the 14 car the entire time. Once he kind of got past me, him and I were trading places back and forth. Decided I'm just going to stick on his bumper and just follow him all the way home. And I know he finished in second. I got third. So sticking with him, just kind of working with him, trying not to pass him on the closing laps, just to kind of keep a car that I could find a car I could keep pace with, and then just following him through to the checkered flag.
We have another question there. After the checkered flag, we saw a little bit of contact with the 2 cars. There, something happened there in those last few laps that.
Yeah, checked my phone. I wasn't looking, and the wheel kind of went up to the right and hit Jacob.
Oh,
So
no.
that's totally my fault.
All right, well, congratulations, Preston, on the P3 there.
Thank you.
With that, we'll kick it over to our second place finisher of John Corey. John, a great run from you. Held on through a lot of adversity to finish in that second place position. Similar question that we had for Preston. Talk us a little bit about what it's like to work with temporary teammates, to say the least. Where does that trust come in? Where does the trust leave when it comes to 1 or 2 laps to go?
Well, I knew I was gonna have him with tire saving, and as he said, we were side by side for a long time. So when you find people like that on the racetrack that will race you clean and work with you, you really have to take that for granted and go and work with them to the end.
We're just 2 races into the season so far, but you found a temporary ally as rivalries might start to pick up. Friendships might also start to build. Is this something that you plan to continue when it comes to working with other drivers? Is this something that you're kind of just a one-and-done situation and every man for themselves?
No, I love working with other drivers. I would love to work with Preston in the next races, following forward, and any other drivers that would be willing to help me out, especially on bigger tracks like Kansas.
Well, John, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Is anyone, any sponsors, anyone you want to thank before we kick it off to the winner?
Really thank everybody that really got me into the league and all of the people that's helped me with, like Colton and Chris helped me with track temps and practicing all these tracks that I really haven't got really used to, but it's really helped me in the long run, just like here, getting a top 2.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, John. And with that, we're going to kick it over to the race winner, the 01 of Braden Lewis.
All right, Lewis, how about that P1, man? First off, congratulations. And the whole second run, you had Jax Malin leading a couple of those laps, and you finally got by him. Was that more of a, let's play defensive and aero block, or were you just head out the windshield, and setting your sails?
I was trying to just set my sails. Honestly, I was worried about getting by him because it was really hard to pass. Like the dirty air just locked the car up in the corner, and it'd make it so hard to turn. And so I was worried I was going to burn my stuff off trying to get past him. But then when I think he kind of messed up or something, I was able to get down below him, and I wasn't trying to aero block him too bad. In my opinion, he was overdriving entry a little bit, so I think he was burning his stuff off. So I wasn't too worried about trying to block him or anything. I knew what I was running would be pretty secure for the entire run, and I kind of thought the way he was running entry, he was going to burn his stuff up. And I think he ended up getting in the wall, so I might have been right about that. But
great finish out of you, Braden, here tonight in the first place position in the 01 car. Here in a couple weeks, we're going to be heading to Nashville Super Speedway. Although it is concrete, it is a similar configuration to Kansas. Are there any notes you hope to translate? Is that a race that you have circled whenever we show up?
yeah, I like Nashville. I don't think I've ever raced the ARCA car there. I believe I have a couple of wins in the truck there through officials and whatnot. So I tend to like Nashville, but we'll see how this car acts there. The ARCA car is a little bit different. They updated it not too long ago, so a lot of these tracks it acts a little different at. So we'll see.
Provided some great racing tonight, and you were the man to beat whenever you got out front. Is there anyone you'd like to thank before you end this broadcast?
Yeah, I'll thank everybody over at SMR and y'all too for doing the broadcast.
And with that, we will wrap up tonight's broadcast. This has been the Bottom Split Racing Series at Kansas Speedway. Make sure to check in on all the other races this entire week. We got one IndyCar League tomorrow at Kentucky Speedway, so make sure to tune into that. But in the meantime, this has been John Miles and Dawson Buchanan in the Bottom Split Racing Series booth. Have a good night.